It's Ash from Super Videos, back for another video for The Walking Dead. In this video, we're going to be looking at a new promo that they released for The Walking Dead's third spin-off called World Beyond. The name of this promo is Three Circles, and it's actually entirely teasing us about the connection between the third spin-off World Beyond and the Rick movies and the group at the center of it all called the CRM. So in this video, I'm not only going to break down this teaser, which is a pretty quick one, and it doesn't have any new footage. It's basically just old footage from Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, and World Beyond combined together. And all of the scenes that they have included together are scenes that are connected to CRM. So I'm going to break those down, but at the same time, I'm going to go through everything that we know so far about the Rick movies and the CRM. So with that said, let's jump right into it. So the teaser starts with this shot of Rick. He hears some helicopter in the background. This comes from season 8, episode 5. This was during All Out War, and it was the first time we actually got our first glimpse at the CRM. This is the first time Rick saw the CRM helicopter, and it could possibly be the exact same helicopter that took him away in his final episode. But in the voiceover, we have the helicopter pilot saying, "What do you have, an A or a B?" So of course, this comes directly from Rick's final episode where the pilot asked Jadis, "What do you have to trade? Do you have an A or a B?" Now we do know that the CRM have an A and B classification system, but we still don't know what A and B stand for. Now, one thing I do want to mention before moving on is we will slowly see the CRM logo, the three circles, coming into the frame and overlapping the images that we're going to see. And that explains why this teaser is called the Three Circles teaser. But the next shot we have is still Rick hearing the helicopter and the logo slowly coming into frame. And then we have this shot of Rick looking up at the helicopter. And then we have this shot of Jadis talking through the walkie with the pilot on the other side. Jadis says, "I have a B." So of course she traded Rick as a B in his final episode. And then we have this shot of Jadis again in that same scene, but we do see the helicopter in the background. And then we have this shot of Rick washing to shore. Of course, this is before he was found by Jadis and traded and transported away by the helicopter. Now on the left side, we also do see an image of Rick in his final scene before he shot the explosives on the bridge, before the bridge blew up, and before his quote-unquote death scene. And then we have this shot of Jadis again with the CRM helicopter, and then we have this shot of an overlapping image of Rick being transported away on the helicopter, and also the aftermath of the explosion on the bridge, him being transported away. And then we have this shot of Al finding the CRM helicopter. Now, if you remember, this happened during season 5 of Fear the Walking Dead. Soon afterwards, she met with Isabel, a soldier of the CRM. In the voiceover, we have Althea saying, "Did you see where the helicopter came from?" Again, this is from the exact same episode where she saw the helicopter and she was trying to investigate to see what was going on. And then we have this shot of the helicopter again. And the pilot of this helicopter is actually Isabel. She's not only one of the soldiers, she's the pilot of this specific helicopter. And then we have this shot of Isabel, the CRM soldier. And then we have this shot of Al talking to Isabel. In the voiceover, she says, "Just tell me where you're from, what are you, and what you're doing out here." Of course, this is from the same exact episode, and it goes back to how she was trying to find the story. And obviously, because the CRM is a secretive group, Isabel wasn't giving her any real information. And then we have this shot of Al looking at the CRM documents that she found, this being one of them with the CRM logo, the CRM name, as well as some sketches of what seemed to be different states in the US. Now, in the voiceover, we have Al saying some sort of a symbol with three circles. This is, of course, referring to the three circle, which makes up the CRM logo. And then we have this shot of the different states of the US, like I said, the different sketches of them. And then we have this shot of one of the CRM soldiers, maybe this is even Isabel herself, she's carrying away these 2 briefcases. I don't remember what was in them, but I think it was some sort of like maybe weapons, or maybe there was some fuel in there. But in the voiceover, Isabel says, if you see someone wearing this jacket, you should be afraid. The jacket, of course, is the jacket that the CRM soldiers wear with the 3 circle symbols on them. We've seen not only the soldiers on Fear wearing that, but also we've seen other people wearing similar types of jacket with the symbol on it on The Walking Dead's 3rd spinoff, World Beyond. Then we have this shot of the helicopter in the air with the 3 circle symbol on it. And then in the voiceover, we have Isabel saying, we are a force who are not living for ourselves or for now. This goes back to how the CRM thinks that they're working for the better of the entire world. And then we have this shot of Iris, who's one of the teenagers that we're gonna meet in The Walking Dead's 3rd spinoff called World Beyond. She has like a telescope by her side, which is interesting. Maybe she's looking up and she sees a helicopter. That could be one way to bring the helicopter back. And then we have this shot of Hope, another teenager. This is actually Iris' sister. She looks up in the air and she sees what seems to be planes, like jets, which is interesting. So it seems like maybe CRM have more than just helicopters. Maybe they have flying jets as well. Maybe that's how advanced they are, which is pretty interesting. But we are slowly seeing the CRM logo come into frame, which is pretty cool. And then we have this shot of Felix, who's the head of security of the Omaha colony, which is the main colony that we're gonna see in The Walking Dead's 3rd spinoff, World Beyond. Looking at the helicopter land. Of course, one of the people that's gonna get out of the helicopter is Elizabeth Kublek. We're gonna get to that in a little bit when we go to the everything we know about the CRM section of this video. Then we have this shot of Elizabeth herself and also the CRM logo. And in the voiceover, Elizabeth says, we are the last hope. So this goes back to what I said. The CRM thinks that they are there to save the entire world. And then we have this shot of some CRM soldiers. And that's pretty much everything that was in the teaser. Walking Dead World Beyond coming later this year. Of course, it was supposed to come out on Sunday. It was delayed. We're not going to get the actual premiere of World Beyond until later this year. Now we're going to go through everything that we know about the CRM and the Rick movies. This is just a summary of everything I'm going to go through. So if you're not interested to stick around for the rest of this, you can just read this and you'll get caught up. But I do want to kind of go through some more details in terms of everything that we know about the CRM and everything that we can expect from the CRM and the Rick movies. I'm going to actually go through everything that we know so far about where Rick was taken to, the movies, and the group at the center of those movies and Rick's story, which is the CRM. So what we know so far is Rick and Jadis were transported to a place called CRM, which is the Civic Republic Military, which is a very secretive group. This group is associated with or works closely with 2 other smaller colonies, one in Portland and one in Omaha. We have not yet seen the Portland community, but that's likely to be the community that Eugene is communicating with on the radio and the community Stephanie is from. But that's more speculative. We don't know that for sure. But we have actually seen the Omaha colony. The Omaha colony is the group that we see in The Walking Dead's 3rd spinoff called World Beyond. We'll actually meet Felix Carlucci, who's from this community, who's the lead of security for Campus Colony of Omaha. And he's the one that communicates with CRM. And he's the one that maybe knows more about the CRM than other people living in that community. We currently know 2 members of the CRM. One is Lieutenant Colonel Elizabeth Kublek, who's one of the leads of the military that they have at the CRM, who we do know will go to the Omaha colony to participate in their Monument Day celebration. And the other member of CRM we've met is a soldier, Isabel, who Althea met in Fear the Walking Dead. We actually got our first reveal or our first look at the CRM through Althea in Fear the Walking Dead. Obviously, we did get glimpses of them prior to that with the helicopters that came in and the communications Jadis had with them, but our first official in-depth look at the CRM was through Althea's eyes in Fear the Walking Dead. What we also know, based on the teasers that they released for The Walking Dead's third spin-off, World Beyond, and the documents Althea found on Fear the Walking Dead, the documents that were related to CRM, is that the CRM most likely guides over or manages several smaller colonies or communities in different states across the United States, two of which we've already kind of talked about, one in Portland and one in Omaha. Now let's switch gears a little bit and let's take a look at signs that Michonne found related to the CRM. Michonne did find clues that Rick may have been around the boat that Virgil took her to. She found Rick's boots, which he was wearing before he disappeared. She also found an old cell phone with the carving of Michonne and Judith on it. What was also carved on the phone was a message written in Japanese that said, "Believe a little bit longer." A couple things I want to point out here. The first, this may not have actually been left behind by Rick himself. One, the picture carving of Judith was an older and grown-up Judith, not the younger Judith that Rick saw before he left. This may have been drawn by someone else who has been watching them. Maybe it was even Jadis who drew that. We know Jadis was the artist, so maybe Jadis is the one that has been watching them and she carved a photo of Michonne and Judith on the phone. It's also possible that maybe Rick managed to escape CRM momentarily and get back close enough to see Michonne and Judith, only to be recaptured and returned to the CRM. That's also a possibility. Now, the other thing I want to point out is they didn't say or mention Rick knowing any other language than English. So the message that was left, which was in Japanese, feels a little off and it just doesn't line up with everything they've told us or revealed to us. We still don't know if Virgil was sent by Rick or someone from CRM, or if the story related to Virgil in Michonne's final episode was its own thing and was a standalone story just for Virgil and was there only and only to put Michonne in a position to find Rick's belongings. So after Michonne found Rick's belongings and talked to Judith, where did she go? So Michonne actually was headed to the north, as she told Judith. And the reason for that is she saw a log of where the boat was before it washed to shore, where she found it. And based on the last item on that log, the last position of the boat was a New Jersey bridge shipyard. So this may have actually been the last position where the boat was. And it may have been where Rick or someone connected to Rick left Rick's belongings. It washed to shore and ended up where it was for Michonne to find. Now, at the end of Michonne's final episode, she saw and possibly joined a large caravan of survivors. There are two possibilities. The first is that the large group was connected to CRM and it will directly lead her to Rick and the CRM. But the other possibility is that she separates from them at some point and finds CRM and Rick afterwards. It's also possible that they'll explore that story, one of these two stories, in the Michonne-centric or the standalone Michonne movie, if they ever do one. Because that's the only place where it would fit. I don't think it'll fit in the movies because, it's going to be weird for them to go back and forth if they really want to do that. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video.